Good afternoon. Sitting outside in the sun for a little bit, building up my tolerance. I'm allergic to the sun, the UVA and the UVB rays, and even though it's an overcast day, the UV index is 6. If it's 4 or above, it's almost torturous. It feels like fire ants crawling on me, and it breaks me out in hives. Now I'm on medicine, and that helps the hives, and it helps. But one of the things that I have to do is immersion therapy, I think is what it is, where you start in the spring and 15 minutes a day for a week, then 30 minutes a day for a week, and then 45, then an hour. And I'm up to an hour. And so now I'm doing an hour and 15 minutes. But on days like today, when that UV index is higher, it immediately feels like fire ants. And I love being outside. I crave the sunshine. But my doctor said this is one of the ways that we can. I'm thankful that I am able to get out in it. There are some, the allergy is so bad, they can't even, I just have to deal with feeling like fire ants are crawling on me and biting me. And I'm already, like I'm telling you, the itching and the burning sensation, it's crazy. Hold on just a second. Boony Boon. Where's Boon Boony? Boony! Hold on just a second. Hey. Preacher's puppy. She's my baby, but she had ran off down the driveway, and I had to make sure she was okay. But anyways, I'm sitting out here doing my immersion therapy into the sun and feeling the fire ants and the biting and the burning. And I thought that I would share with you what the Lord showed me yesterday in my time with Him in the Word. Now, the verse yesterday came from 1 John chapter 4. And I love the verse of the day, but I don't just read the verse. I like to go read the whole chapter. I like to get the context. I got to understand what's going on. Sometimes I don't even just read the whole chapter. I'll read before and after. I'll do a whole deep dive. But 1 John chapter 4 is John, Jesus's apostle, speaking and writing. And it's all about God abiding in us, loving God and loving others. And now, if you know me in a personal way, and you've met me in person, you've heard me say, I don't like people. And I mean this when I say that. If you know me, you know how to take that. But I got to thinking about, how does that come across if you don't know me? And after reading 1 John chapter 4, I was like, Lord, is something wrong with me? And then I went on a deep dive. And I'm so thankful for Jesus. I'm so thankful for His Word. I'm so thankful for the time and the age, Boom Boony, that we live in, that there's so much at our hands to study. Hang on. She's in the pasture. I just can't let anything happen to her because she's a little baby. Oh, she found her pine cone. Look at this. She's so proud of herself and her pine cone. Okay, but anyways, the reason that I was thinking about it, even before I read the verse of the day yesterday, was on Tuesday, Mac took us to Sproul Bluff. And, of course, it's Peopley. And thank God, schools is not out in that county yet. They were not out. And so it wasn't as peoply as it could have been. And but it was still peoply. And I try to avoid people places. I do pickups at the grocery stores. I use that Walmart's pickup. I use Sam's pickup. I ship stuff to the house. I do all I can do to stay out of peoply places, because I am naturally an introvert. Now, you meet me and you'll say there's no way. There's no way you're an introvert. You're so friendly. You're so personable. You're so loud. You're so talkative. And I want to say two things about that. Number one, my personality is just, I try to be joyful and vibrant in all situations. Number two, there's going to be more than two, but I said two things. Number two, my mama and daddy raised me right. I got raising of, like, when you're out and about and you're interacting with people, show yourself friendly. That doesn't mean that I want more friends. That just means I got good raising. But number three, since I have met Jesus and I have made him my all and my priority, I ask God to give me opportunities to so shine him. And so I find myself, even though the Julie don't want to, the Jesus in me is like, speak to them. Make them laugh. Show them a smile. You know what I mean? But the people that God bring into my life, my peoples, my immediate peoples, Osanipa peoples, church peoples, people that have come into my life because of God. He has put them in my life. I love them fierce. I love them hard. I pray for them. I love all you that are a part of this little community, even though I might not have met you face to face. I pray daily over this Facebook page and the Facebook followers. I can't call out all almost 3,000 names, but what I can do is say, God, you know them. And I pray for y'all daily, and I love y'all. That's why I engage with you, because I love you. But I don't seek out wanting to go to places that there are a lot of people. Like even movie theaters. We will every once in a while go see a movie in theater, because there's just some movies that are better on the big screen. Like Epic, which was Elvis in concert. And if you also know me, you know, and I can't help it. I was raised by my mama who loved Elvis, Patsy Cline. And I just love Elvis, okay? I love Patsy. I love George Jones. I mean, I just can't help it. But there's some movies that are just better to see on the big screen. And we'll go. But I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy being in. Like I say, I use all the pickups. I get everything shipped. I don't seek it out. Now, my Leroy, preacher, Brandon, whatever y'all want to call him, he's my Leroy, Abernathy Hobbs. My Leroy is a people person. Like, he loves it. Anything that's going on around that we can get to, any meeting, any singing, any man's meeting, any revival, anything that's going on, he is ready. He loves going and doing things. He loves going and, car showing, flea marketing. And I love car showing and flea marketing. I just don't want to deal with the peoples. You know what I mean? But he is a extrovert. And he loves it. He seeks it out. He enjoys it. I would rather be right here on this little farm, surrounded by these critters, with my immediate peoples, just loving my other peoples that God has sent me, and praying for them, and being around them when that happens. But I don't seek out strangers. I don't need that. It's just not who I am. It is mentally and physically exhausting to me, mind, body, and soul, to people. So, that's not my ministry and that's not my calling. But we went to Spruill Bluff on Tuesday. And I didn't want to, but there were people. There was a lady that was sitting close to us, and out of nowhere, out of my mouth, but Jesus came. I love it when he does it. I said, are you having a good day? And she said, I am. And Mac had Blue. And then we got to talking. And she got to talking about how they had just had to put their dog down that looked a lot like Blue. And Mac said, would you like to love on him? And she loved on him. And while she was talking to us, she shared an experience that she's going through with her family right now. Her son and his wife got a divorce. And his girlfriend. There's just some things going on. And she was just out of nowhere sharing her experiences with us. And that is why Jesus said, speak to her. Because then I said, sis, I am so sorry, first of all, for your loss of your baby. I know how it is to love these animals that God provides us with, and what a hole it leaves in our home and our heart. And then I said, I'm going to be praying for your son. And Max said, yes, we will be praying. And she told us her name. We introduced ourselves. I'm horrible with names. I'm better with faces. But God knows who she is. And so when I talk about that lady I met at Spruill Bluff, he knows exactly who she is, because he put exactly her in my path. And I pray to him all the time for opportunities. Give me opportunities to so shine. Then there was another lady that had a little girl, and they were tubing, and I watched them tube and get out, and they did it again and they got out, and we liked to tube. And so before I knew it, I said, hey, are y'all having a good day tubing? I said, is that water good to tube in? And we got to talking, and just like speaking together. And her little girl was precious and a water baby, and reminded me of so much of Mac at that age. And later on, when we went to do the little walk, I'm going to get to the Jesus, okay, y'all? I got to give you the backstory. This is a Shane's Ribsack story. My Marmy would appreciate that. I just can't. I wish I could say things in 2 words, but I'm a talker. Later on, when we went on that little hike, they were out there by themselves. They were all the way. Spruill Bluff is set up where you can pull in and you can park, and there's places you can park with picnic tables and riverfront access. And then there's a gate up, and you can't drive back there, but there's a path that you can pull a wagon, and there's some more. And she was at the very last picnic table, all to herself, by herself. And I thought, man, she's my kind of people. So I asked her, I said, sis, I said, are you from around here? And she said, I am. And I said, so you come here a lot? She said, we do. And I said, well, can I ask you a question? I said, because I don't like people. And I said, I love to come to the river, and I love to be here and bring the animals and be here with my daughter and enjoy it. But I know that summertime and when school's out, it's going to be a lot more crowded. And I was asking her about that space that she was at. And she said, right now, our schools are still in. It's a great time to be here. This place that I get, you have to get here early to get it. Most of the time, it's gone. And then she said, but I'm like you. I don't enjoy crowds and people and, you know, all that kind of thing. And I said, I love my people, and I'm thankful for them. But it's mentally and physically exhausting to me to be around a crowd. I don't know why, and I can't explain it, but it just is. Hold on just a second. I got to holler Boon Booney again. She's getting so brave. She's going out into the pasture. The horses are up here. They want to be fed. I'm going to feed them in a minute. She's going out in the pasture, and I just don't want her to venture off too far. Let me just get up while I'm talking to y'all. But anyways, so I connected to her on that level. Well, then on the way home, I was thinking about that. And I was like, people who know me, who really know me, when I say I don't like people, they understand. Boon Booney, I see you. That's fine. They understand what I mean. Because they know me in a personal way and have been around me and realize that I love the people that God puts in my path. So, and this is how crazy God is. So I went to bed and I was praying for the lady and I was praying for that little mama and her daughter, because her husband was at work and she brings her little girl and has her around things that she enjoys and loves. And I told her, I said, I want to bring my husband back. He's working. That's how I knew her husband was at work. And she said, same thing. And I said, I don't know, it just connected on her. She reminded me as a mother. She had her daughter protected. She had water shoes on her daughter. I've seen other mamas down there, and this is another reason why I don't like the people. I've seen other mamas down there who had on water shoes, and they had little bitty babies that were just walking, no water shoes on, nothing to protect them from the gravel, letting them get into the river. Don't get into the river barefoot. You never know what's in that water. Glass, things, anything. And no life jacket on them. I don't care if it's a 2 foot of water and it's standing still and you're right there. Put a life jacket if your babies don't know how to swim. It's a river, okay? And so those kind of things get the Julie stirred up in me. And so I was asking her about it. And I connected with her. I felt a kindred spirit in her as a mama. And we talked, and she said, I usually don't even talk to people. And we talked. And then she was like, you guys have a great rest of your summer. And I said, y'all too. And she said, maybe we'll see you again soon. I said, well, I guarantee you will, because we'll be back and we'll be fine. We'll be fine in these areas that you're talking about that are less people-y. And I said, so we'll see you. We'll see you again. But when I was praying about it, the enemy, he likes to not convict you. He likes to condemn you. And I didn't feel conviction necessarily. I felt like, I don't think this is Jesus, because this doesn't feel like a correcting moment. But God, if you are convicting me and I need to work on something, make it real to me that it's you. Get up Wednesday morning. The verse of the day comes from 1 John chapter 4. Go read the whole chapter.
Hey there. I've got a really great feeling about us teaming up. How can
I hit my tablet and I thought I was talking to it. Okay. So 1 John chapter 4. I read the whole chapter. This was not the verse of the day, but it stuck out to me. And I want to read it to you. And then I want to explain to you what I found out about it on my deep dive. I've always said that I knew that Jesus understood me because he had to get alone from the crowds. He had to get alone with God, alone, away from his peoples. But he also had to remove himself from the crowds. He stayed with his peoples, but he had to get away from the crowds. And I was like, Jesus understands me. He knows me. But the enemy was trying to condemn me. And then when I prayed that and I said, Lord, show me if it's a conviction and I need to work on it and I need to, please, because I do want to so shine you everywhere I go. And even, let me make this clear, when I go in the W&Ms and I go into the Walmarts and I walk up on people, Jesus will just fly out of my mouth and I will be speaking to strangers. I don't seek them out, but when he puts people in my path, I try to use the opportunities because I pray for him. Give me opportunities. And I don't want to ever miss an opportunity. And sometimes that opportunity is just smiling and saying, are you having a good day, sis? And, just things like that. You don't have to bring a Bible out and start bashing them over the head. You can so shine Jesus just through your actions, your reactions, your attitude, your gratitude, the smile on your face. But this verse, let me read it first. I had to pull it up on here because it's bigger and I'm going to run out of power, so I got to talk fast. I'm sorry, I know I'm already been talking too long. The verse says, no man hath seen God at any time. If we love one another, God dwelleth in us, and his love is perfected in us. Okay, so when I was reading that jumped out to me. Of course, I understand no man hath seen God at any time. We've not, with our physical eyes, seen the Lord. But this next part, if we love one another, God dwelleth in us. That's what jumped off the screen at me. And I said, okay, God, I see that. I'm reading that. And he said, dig deep. Dig deep. Because the next part says, and his love is perfected in us. So, of course, we can't look upon, no man has seen God. We can't look upon his divine essence with our human eyes. Okay? One day we will. God dwelleth in us means that he has made a home in our hearts. His love perfected in us means that it has come to a maturity and a completion, right? And I'm still maturing. He's still working on me, and he will be until I see him with my physical eye. That's when I'm going to be able to see him. So until I die, he is working on me. This verse and the chapter is all centered around how God loves us and how he showed his love for us by sending his son Jesus. And John is saying here that love is not just an emotion. Love is evidence of a relationship with Jesus. And I said, I love you, Lord, and I love my relationship with Jesus more than anything. And I want to be mature in you and your word, and I want your love to be perfected in me, and I want others to see you in me by the way that I love them. But I'm not a people person. And this is where I love Jesus and how wonderful he is. Because I went searching commentaries. And this is something that I read. This verse is not saying you must be loud, highly social, or constantly surrounded by people for God's love to be visible. It is saying that God's presence is revealed through genuine love towards others. So, somebody for me, like as an introvert, that can look like listening deeply to someone that needs to talk. That means being dependable, a dependable source. That means showing kindness. Hold on. I have my notes. I wrote all this down, and my finger just messed it up. So give me a minute. I'm having a hard day today. I've had a really hard headache and a hard day today. It's praying for people privately and helping without wanting any recognition or patting on the back. It's loving a small circle deeply rather than many people superficially. Gosh, it applies to me so much. And I know there's many of you like me. Because I've had people, when I say I don't like people, I've had people say the same thing. Okay, they say, I understand that. Many introverts love in ways that are extremely sincere because they tend to value depth over attention. God dwelleth in us, and his love is perfected in us, means God's love becomes complete through actions. Those actions do not have to be extroverted actions. Jesus himself often withdrew alone to pray, separated from crowds for periods of time. Listen to this. An introvert can reflect God strongly because quietness can produce thoughtfulness. Observation, which I am a people watcher, can produce compassion. Solitude can deepen spiritual life. And fewer words, which I can't, that part don't apply to me, because when I start talking to you and you're my people, you know I'm a talker. Not on the phone. What I mean is, like, I'm going to tell you a story. It's going to be very detailed, just like this right here. So detailed. We're 23 minutes into it. It's so detailed. Fewer words can make love more intentional. Biblical love is not measured by volume or social energy. It is measured by sincerity, sacrifice, patience, truth, and compassion. Aren't you thankful first for his word? But what I'm so thankful for is I went to bed Tuesday night specifically praying, God, show me and help me if I need something corrected. If this is just the enemy trying to condemn me and get in my head and destroy me, then also show me in your word where you and I are okay. And what I mean and what I say, you understand it, and you're with me, and you know me. To wake up the very next morning, and that be in the chapter that the verse of the day was in my Bible application, my Bible app that goes along with my King James Version Bible, the Life Application Bible. For that to be right there, in there, him knowing that was, putting that as the verse of the day would make me go read the whole chapter, and that would stick out to me, and then I would dig, and then he would say, see, I'm not convicting you. I understand you. I see what you're doing when I give you opportunities. You just continue to lean on me. I'm going to give you opportunities, and Jesus is going to fall right out of your mouth through action, reaction, positive words, a great smile, interaction, and you're going to so shine for me, and it's not going to be about you, and you're going to be able to walk away from that interaction, come home, and that has maybe stuck in their heart, stuck in their heart, but it's not something you're going to have to do daily, and they're not one of the people that I'm putting in your life for you to love on a deep, sincere way. I wanted you to interact with them, show them love, show them me, and now pray for them. You know what I mean? I just love Jesus. And I don't know if this makes any sense to anybody else, but I know I have met other people when I say that. I would rather be at home surrounded by critters than in the world surrounded by people. That doesn't mean in the church. I love being in church and in church meetings, but I am going to be honest with you. It is exhausting to me, to people. Because the Julie in me is an introvert. But the Jesus in me says, talk, share, express, emote. And so I have to come home and get alone. Mondays, my peoples know this. Mondays, I don't want to talk. I don't want to, most of the time, even turn the TV on. I don't want noise. I just want quiet, and I need to charge. My social battery has been drained, and it has drained me emotionally and physically, and I have to recharge. But the fact of, there she is, that puppy. Look at her. I don't know if you can see her, but the fact that Jesus understood. I'm so glad he came. I'm so glad that from the beginning of creation, before fall, Jesus and God and the Holy Spirit knew that we were going to need him. And I'm so glad that he came and he walked in this physical flesh, and he experienced things, and he understands. I don't care how many years it's been since Jesus walked on this earth. There are a lot of things that he didn't experience. He didn't know anything about technology. I'm saying in his time of walking as man. They didn't have to worry about technology. They didn't have to worry about social media. They didn't have to worry about some of the things that gas prices. They didn't have to worry about some of those things. But he experienced every single thing and understand. And it's crazy to me that they didn't go through some of the things that we are actually going through, and he didn't actually go through some of the things that we are actually going through. But everything that he did go through makes him understand exactly what we're going through. No matter if you're male or female. Jesus was a man, but he understands everything us as women go through. Because he has seen it all from beginning to end. The world, the timeline. He's above it. Him and God are up there like they're watching the parade. They can see the whole thing instead of what's right here in front of them. He saw what was right in front of him as he walked, but he also had already seen the beginning to the end. So he made sure that when God told man to write it down, to write it in a way that no matter how old the Bible is, no matter the age that pen was put to paper, in 2026, it applies, it's real, he understands. And I'm so thankful for that. I encourage you, go get in His Word. Get in His Word. If you don't know what to read today, I encourage you, go read 1 John chapter 4. But get in His Word. Study it. Ask Him to reveal things to you. Ask Him to make things so real and show you how they apply to you, your relationship, and your walk. And I promise you, He will. He will. I love Him, and I'm so thankful. So yes, I don't like people. I don't like crowds. I love God, and I love the opportunities that He gives me to be with my people that He's specifically put in my life. I love the opportunities that He gives me to be amongst people, and boldness and attitude to let Jesus just control the Julie and share things that hopefully shine the light directly to Him. And I'm thankful for this little place, these critters, the quiet, and the time that I have alone with Him, and that He too craved time alone with the Father. So, I love His Word. I love His Word. I love how He talks to me. I love y'all. I'm praying for y'all. Y'all pray for me. Let's so shine Him. However that is. If you're like me and you're home most of the time, use this platform. Use your social media platform. You don't even have to, you don't have to share personal things about you and your family and what you're doing and pictures and stuff like that. But you can every day share a verse. You can every day share encouragement about the Lord. However He gives you opportunity, ask Him to use you to just so shine Him. And let Him get all the honor and the glory. I love y'all. I'll talk to you later. I'll see you soon.